Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Group 2 debate as final project for speaking for academic purposes. My name is Nur Aini Weningtyas, and I'm the adjudicator for this debate. The motion for this debate is the House regrets the idolization of individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education, such as Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and etc. And in government side, we have Nisrina Al-Hanin as Prime Minister, Pranadya Pandu as Deputy Prime Minister, Galuh Anggita as Member of Government, and Adham Adyatma as Government Whip. And in opposition side, we have Prettycia as Leader of Opposition, Hanim Maghfiroh as Deputy Leader Opposition, Salma As Shabrina as Member of Opposition, and Kristin Widyana as Opposition Whip. So each debaters have 7 minutes maximum to do their speech, and we're gonna start with Nisrina Al-Hanin as Prime Minister to start this debate. So Nisrina, time is yours.
So I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Education is the thing that everyone needs to achieve. Education itself means the act to learn that aims to socialize individuals and maximize their development. The reason why we are regrets the idealizations of individuals who success without going through the traditional education is because actually a formal education is the place where we can get the best quality of all. Formal education is a structured and systematic form of learning. This is the education of a certain standard delivered to students by trained teachers as the educators. We can learn something from the educators. In every situation, the educators can make or create an environment and relationships where other people or the students can explore their or other experiences of situations, ideas, and feelings. Primary purpose of high quality education is to create rational, critical methods of thinking, implement solid values, provide deep understanding of the world surrounding us, and widen the views of students. Training them to become expert in various fields is another goal. None of this guarantees successful life, but high and quality education certainly gives us better starting position and greater chances for success in life in many aspects. Since education in generally gives us the ability to analyze the world, think in more abstract terms, and come up with functional, creative, alternative approaches, the way we are going to apply that onto our personal life is often unique. Besides, education is very necessary for each and everyone in order to improve knowledge, way of living as well as social and economic status throughout the life. In order to live a better and peaceful life, we need to be educated. It transforms us completely from inside and outside by changing our mind and personality as well as improving our confidence level. An educated person having good education becomes the good citizen in society. Here are some roles of education that can bring you to become a success. First, education boosts our self-confidence and staying power. Universities give us the opportunity for continuous academic progress where our efforts are rewarded and stimulated. All of this improves people's confidence and higher self-esteem, further influences all other aspects in life, including someone's love life and social life. Also, practicing your critical manner of thinking will make less susceptible for various traps, scams, exploitations, and similar manifestations of other people or the system itself abusing poorly educated people. Second, the second reason is it gives the skills that are required for employment. As for the example is we will learn how to manage our time, how to become a multitasking that can juggle several tasks at the same time, and how to interact with all kinds of people from fellow students to professors and industry professionals. These skills are vital for the future, all of which will help shine at work and cope with the challenges that the professional world throws at us. Traditional education typically provides a lot of structure, discipline, rules, and resources. This can be good for those who lack the discipline and who need to be pushed or prodded to improve their personal or professional position. Knowing that they've paid so much money to obtain traditional education should be enough pressure to stay in school and ride it out. People define success in different ways. For some, it means having enough money to buy the things they want. For others, it means being respected by your peers. For some again, it simply means having a loving and supportive family. Regardless of how you personally define success, the stats show that a bachelor's degree can make having a successful career more achievable. Consider the following of these. First, bachelor's degree holders earn an average of 66% more than high school graduates. Second, people with a bachelor's degree will add $1 million to their total lifetime earnings compared to someone without a degree. Third, high school graduates experience an unemployment rate 8% higher than college grads. So, while there are some newsworthy exceptions to the rule, the numbers don't lie. With higher paying jobs such as cybersecurity analyst, healthcare professional, and business administrator, going through those with 4-year degrees, bachelor's degree holders are generally able to more easily find work and earn more than those with less education. Thank you.
Thank you for the nice speech. Now we're going to move to the opposition side. Enty Prettycia as leader opposition, time is yours.
My speech will begin in 3, 2, 1. Non-traditional education is an education that is offered in ways other than common daytime college classroom. There are many versions of non-traditional education, such as college preparation education, evening courses, independent learning, online learning, residencies, cross-registration, and one-on-one learning. To be clear, when we say non-traditional education, we are talking about learning outside traditional methods, such as college, university, or trade school. Obvious differences include cost, time commitment, and government assistance. Non-traditional education allows you to choose a topic of your interest that corresponds to your concentration and create a class around it. For instance, if you major in English, perhaps a course in novel turned into movies is for you. Or if you are majoring in history, maybe you would enjoy learning about 18th century English social classes. Non-traditional education can provide more flexibility, skills, customization to the individual schedule. Furthermore, education through non-traditional means typically still follows a course structure, but in many cases, you won't need to take unnecessary and unrelated courses. Trade professions are necessary for society to function, require less than 4 years of training, and often pay above average wages. The high number of young adults choosing college over learning a trade has created a skill gap in the US, and there is now a shortage of middle-skilled trade workers like machinists, electricians, plumbers, and construction workers. Research suggests that there is no difference in adult income between students who attend highly selective school and students with similar SAT scores who attended less selective schools. At least for long-term earnings, where you go may not be critical as long as you attend and graduate. Yet, our data shows that for students with talent and motivation to make it to the top of US society, an elite college might just help you to get there, whether it's the networks you acquire or the brand on your resume. According to the Department of Labor, as many as 17 million college graduates work in positions that did not require a college education. For comparison, based on census and college data, we estimate that only about 2 to 5% of all US undergraduates went to one of the elite schools in our study. The people from our study attend elite schools at rates well above typical expectation. While looking at over 11,000 successful leaders, we rarely encounter people who came from extremely poor or disadvantaged background. Helping disadvantaged talented students enter elite schools could promote diversity among future leaders. There's also growth in terms of possible modes of income that don't require a college degree. Business owners can start up business without a college degree. Many freelancing jobs don't require one. And in the age where influencer, YouTuber, and Twitch streamer can be a lucrative job in terms of marketing, advertising, or just by having Patreon account and some very generous viewers, it's easy to see why the downsides of getting a college degree are pushing more people away. The following successful people either never enrolled in college or never completed their college degrees. For example, Bill Gates, who dropped out of Harvard, founded Microsoft, and now one of the wealthiest men in the world. Walt Disney dropped out of high school at 16, and now the Walt Disney Company has net worth of roughly $130 billion. Nearly everyone around the world knows Steve Jobs as the co-founder of Apple Incorporation. His success so massive that no one really thinks of him as a college dropout. Wozniak founded Apple with Steve Jobs and Ronald Wayne in 1976, but Wozniak was the one who designed and built their first product, the Apple I. Wozniak himself has taught computer classes in the Los Gatos, California school district. He's also donated computers and other technological equipment to schools in the area. He advises young people to learn about all things they're passionate about. All my great stuff I learned outside of school. You can find so much outside of school on the internet now, he said. But even in school, if you love something like mathematics, instead of working in the assigned problems, do all the other ones too. Just decide, this is something that I really love in life. I'm going to go a little further than school wants me to. Thank you.
Thank you for the fine speech. Now we're going to move to Deputy Prime Minister Pranadya Pandu. Time is yours.
I will start in 3, 2, 1. According to LO, non-traditional education can provide more flexibility, skills, and customization to the individual schedule. While it is true, it is also worth mentioning that traditional education provides several advantages that non-traditional education doesn't. The first is being social interaction. University accounts for being a hub which encompasses a diverse student community who are motivated towards their respective goals. Interacting with peers and lecturers alike provides learning and networking opportunities that cannot be attained in online learning setup. The second is professional connections. University is where students build their first adult networks. Students meet friends and mentors that become future contacts and colleagues and get the chance to mix with inspiring academic staffs who are leading experts in their field. Moreover, the students also get to gel up with other students or faculty members who visit the university for a different purpose. The third is independence. There is no better way to learn how to be independent than by being thrown at the deep end, amongst others in the same position. Plus, you can learn from each other and realize how great it is to be in control of your own life. You can learn to handle yourself in the worst situation along with facing no obligation when deciding on going for a short vacation or attend a particular event. Thus, traditional education provides a once-in-a-lifetime experience that will be useful lessons for students in their adulthood. Furthermore, traditional education also enables students to build connections with their friends and mentors that could be beneficial for students. You will not get all of this if you went through non-traditional education. If that's the case, can you succeed without traditional education? The short answer is yes. It is possible to succeed without traditional education. But the longer answer is that succeeding without traditional education, especially the level of that Gates, Zuckerberg, and Jobs did, is the exception, not the rule. In fact, while it is true that there are successful college dropouts, statistically speaking, they are not the norm. Researchers in education and talent from non-profit news organization The Conversation found out that the vast majority of the country's success stories are college graduates, such as Sheryl Sandberg, the CEO of Facebook, which graduated from Harvard, Jeff Bezos, founder, CEO, and president of Amazon, which graduated from Princeton, and Marissa Mayer, ex-CEO of Yahoo, which graduated from Stanford. From 11,745 US leaders, including CEOs, federal judges, politicians, multimillionaires, and billionaires, business leaders, and the most globally powerful men and women, about 94% of them attended college. Hard work and determination certainly have their place in achieving success, and if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, connections with angel investors, and a mind for tech trends, it's possible to follow in the footsteps of Jobs or Gates or Zuckerberg. For the rest of us, those with interest outside of starting the next global tech phenomenon, the path to making it will be steadier and more traditional. Also, not everyone has what it takes to reach it all, and if you look at those who made it big on the dream, they often face huge setbacks. Gates, for example, started a failing data company before Microsoft, causing him to start from scratch. Without a backup plan, an incredible support system, and unfailing work ethic, most of us can sustain these types of setbacks more than once in a lifetime. Therefore, we need to stop normalize dropout only because Bill Gates or Steve Jobs do so. Most people don't have the support and the courage that they have. Moreover, research have proven that most leaders in the US are in fact college graduates. With that in mind, it could be said that people that went through traditional education are most likely to achieve success. Thank you.
Thank you for the nice speech. Now we're going to move to Deputy Leader Opposition, Hanim Maghfiroh. Time is yours.
All right, so I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1. I, as the deputy leader of the opposition, rebut the statement that a traditional education matters for making someone to be a successful person in the future. We all know that many of formal education or traditional education considers marks more than a comprehension. Based on the research, 30% of college students felt that college did not prepare them well from employment, specifically in areas of technical and quantitative reasoning skills. It is because students focus on the degree that they are going to get after they graduate. So many of them are actually not feeling eager to pursue a higher education, but they go to college just because of the necessity to have a degree. Another research in 2011, namely Pew Research, found that 57% of Americans felt higher or traditional education did not provide students with good value compared to the money spent, which is actually the weak side of formal education, that it requires a lot of money to spend. So, from those mentioned research, we can get the points that, first, college students did not demonstrate any significant improvement in learning during college education. Second, employers thought half or fewer of graduates had the skills or knowledge to advance within their companies. Third, college students felt that college did not prepare them well for employment. And fourth, Americans felt higher or traditional education did not provide students with good value compared to the money spent. It was all the arguments about the traditional education. And now we move on to the argument about success. So what is success actually? Success is the case when someone achieves what they want, achieve what they have been dreaming for, right? Therefore, success does not always require traditional education, nor is it necessarily predicated upon the school you went to
or the degree you received. Much of success can come from pure luck with some additional efforts, of course. The comprehension about life and how to survive in the real world matter more than the comprehension about a certain subject being taught in a traditional educational institution. You have the greatest impact on your success. It depends on how you define it and how you achieve it. You do not need to rely completely on a specific type of education to find it. After talking about the definition of success, now we move on to the benefits of non-traditional education. Who are the people that get the benefits for the most from non-traditional education? The answer is, of course, they will have enough determination and passion toward their objectives. They will consequently be inclined to deeper learning and study. Everything requires some type of education, whether it be learned by observation, read from a textbook or manual, learned from experience, and etc. Self-education, if done correctly, can be more economical, provide more freedom, more applicable, and much more rewarding. The experts in their fields are experts not because they read a lot, but through application of what they have learned. There is no better self-education than trial and error. Now, let's put in contrast who are the people who get the benefits for the most from a traditional education. The answer is they who have money to pursue their traditional education, because there is no chance to join a college or school free from any fee. There may be some subsidy from the government for they who live with low economical condition, but it is really ineffective to rely on the government actually, especially in the developing country which has a high poverty rates. We can also take samples from some successful people who come from a low economical background. Most of them cannot pursue a traditional education because they lack of money. However, the way to the better life will not be blocked if the door of the traditional education is closed. They turn around and make their own way. They take another way. They lead themselves to the way that brings them to success. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanim, for the nice speech. Now we're gonna move to member of government, Galuh Anggita. Time is yours.
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Notice that education can influence success. All have felt like what OO says, but they need to notice what is the most essential role on non-traditional education. They only state that research suggests there is no difference in adult income between students who attended highly selective schools and students with similar SIT scores who attended less selective schools and more focus on the elite school. Also, they can only mention the freelance professions such as an influencer, YouTuber, and sweet streamer, which are only informal and not a permanent job. They should mention the general profession which is promising and recognized. For instance, the profession which needs special knowledge such as a doctor, teacher, dentist, and so on. In my speech, I'm going to tell you my major extension. First, how far can you get without a college degree? Second, the important fact of traditional education. Third, the importance of a college degree to success. Before that, let's see the cases of opening opposition. They talk about a lot of role models who achieve success without going through traditional education, such as Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and so on. But they never really explain to you the update information. I mean the recent person in this era who achieved success without going through traditional education. In this case, OO doesn't have real and accurate evidence. We closing government think that there is no reasonable fact and data that can prove people can achieve success without going through traditional education. So what does it mean? It means traditional education is truly important in all aspects of human life. OO only refutes the facts about the importance of traditional education without fighting on it, with the evidence that non-traditional education has greater influence on one's success. We are going to be very distinctive in the case of opening government, where they already talk about education that and education goals, which focus on the role of education that can influence success and the role of traditional education with one's success. But they think that we have to observe and analyze further the importance of traditional education, including the case of someone's degree. So first contention on mine, how far can you really get without a college degree? Bill Gates started Microsoft when he was 19 and has since become one of the world's wealthiest people. Mark Zuckerberg owns one of the most highly valued tech company in US. Steve Jobs founded Apple in his garage. What do these three people have in common? None of them finished college. In fact, Bill Gates is considered Harvard's most successful dropout. What's more, there are countless others who have gone to start successful business without first earning a bachelor degree. Now moving on to the second point, the important facts of traditional education. First, jobs increasingly require college degrees. Only 34% of American jobs require a high school diploma or less in 2017, compared to 72% in the 1970s. During the recession between December 2007 and January 2010, jobs requiring college degree grew by 187,000, while jobs requiring some college or an associate's degree fell by 1.75 million, and jobs requiring a high school degree or less fell by 5.6 million. According to the researchers at Georgetown University, 99% of jobs grew between 2010 and 2016 went to workers with associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and graduate degrees. Second, college graduates attract higher paying employees to their communities. A 1% increase in college graduates in a community increased the wage of workers without a high school diploma by 1.9%, and the wages of high school graduates by 1.6%. And the last point, for those who plan on starting a business, your future customers, vendors, and partners will often come from people you met through college. If your startup ultimate fails, or you decide to switch gears later in life, you will have the skills and knowledge you gain while earning your degree to fall back on. You are much more likely to succeed should your entrepreneurial endeavor miss and mark. Not to mention, people with a bachelor degree are generally more satisfied in their careers and have improved self-esteem. I'm very proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you for the fine speech. Now we're going to move to Member of Opposition, Salma As Shabrina.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. The key to success is not just obtaining a degree, it's obtaining an education and doing something with that education. Some of the most accomplished people in the world are self-educated. These are the people who are really engaged, focused, and driven. And you'll find these people from all walks of life with varying degrees of education. These are the people who learn so that they can make a difference in the world, not to necessarily put their resumes with degree and credentials. These are people who learn when they're not on a deadline or a budget. They can learn because they want to. Those with enough determination and passion toward that objective will consequently be inclined to deeper learning and study. Everything requires some type of education, whether it be learned by observation, read from a textbook or manual, learn from the experience, etc. Self-education, if done correctly, can be more economical provide more freedom, more applicable, and much more rewarding. The experts in their fields are expert not because they read a lot, but to application of what they have learned. There is no better self-education than trial and error. Consider non-traditional education as you invest your time and money on building your future. Many successful entrepreneurs we know today, like the Richard Branson, the founder of chairman of Virgin, which today control more than 400 companies in various fields, was dropped out from the college due to dyslexia and had poor academic performance. Even his headmaster Robert Grayson on his last day at school told him that he will either end up in a prison or become a millionaire, which fortunately he became a millionaire. College is viewed as the gateway to more money and opportunities, but Rickard claimed that the point is that university isn't to be all and end all, and it's certainly not a prerequisite for business success. Another successful entrepreneur who is also dropped out is Carlos Culpepper, owner and CEO of the Coca-Cola, or maybe Walt Disney from the Disney Corporation founder. Even Bill Gates, the Microsoft founder, is dropped out of Harvard to pursue his dream, seeing the opportunity to start his own company. He explained his decision to leave Harvard by saying that if things had not worked out, I could always go back to school. I was officially on leave. Or maybe Michael Dell, the founder of Dell Inc., or Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, Mark Cuban, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. All of them are dropped out of college in pursuit of greater opportunities, because opportunity relies heavily on timing. What might have happened if each of these individuals continued their education and received master PhD degrees from their school? It's quite possible that the windows of opportunity for each of them may have closed or been altered significantly. Instead, they left college to focus on their dreams and their passion. How would you calculate the loss of opportunity each of these individuals may have had? How would this have impacted themselves and the rest of the world had they stuck with the status quo and pushed their dream aside in order to obtain that college degree that our society has socially tied to intelligence and opportunity? Elon Musk, the co-founder of PayPal and current founder and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, attended a college and received multiple degrees but left earlier than planned to take the advantage of the .com business era. Some of the wealthiest individuals in the world do not have PhDs. This isn't to say that the many geniuses in their field have not gone on make a huge impact. There are many who have changed the world forever and have gone on to win the Nobel Prize and other prestigious awards. All in all, we see that traditional education now is go with a high tuition and two classes is no longer as necessary to someone's financial outcome. So this is important because it answers the closing government claim about the success and make it more make sense that a degree is not a big deal to be a success person. Thank you.
Thank you for the fine speech. Now we're going to move to government whip. Adham Adyatma, time is yours.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I disagree with the argument from MO, because if you then have a grand career goals, it may seem that a degree is extra work for something you may never use. But many degree programs are designed to create a holistic educational experience. A bachelor program requires attention to details, good study habits, communication skills, critical thinking, and the ability to form opinions. All of these soft skills that you master in college are useful in your daily adult life. Whether that's running your own business or managing a family, while you may not have plans for a career that requires a college degree now, your plans may change. Getting your bachelor's can prepare you for taking on a new life challenge when the needs arises. Bill Gates once dropped out from Harvard 2 years before starting a developer at Microsoft, the business that would make him a billionaire by age 26. Now, over 60 years later, Bill Gates says there's still one thing he regrets about his Harvard years. Another example is PewDiePie. Let's we say that PewDiePie gaining a net worth of $30 million just by uploading Let's Play video on YouTube is enough to inspire you to drop out of college. In fact, PewDiePie himself was also a college dropout, leaving Chalmers University of Technology in 2011 because he wasn't interested in his course of study. You may think lucrative future as a gaming YouTuber is possible because you are very passionate about video game. Passion, however, is not enough. Evan Beauty said himself leaving university to pursue a career as a YouTuber is a stupid act. Why do so many people think that you have to go to school, college to be successful? It's likely because they have experienced the benefits personally. Yes, personally, yes, it's possible to succeed with a college degree, but with so many programs designed to take you from having no experience in a field to be highly skilled and job market ready, having a college degree offers a clear advantage. Also, with a college degree, we can clear our path clearly for our future or what we want to go after graduation. This argument may be not relevant today, but this is the clear advantage from what we can get after we graduate from college. If not, we may face an unclear path and don't know what we have to do if we were dropped out. As an example, for dropping out, we can take Steve Jobs' life story. Plenty of students today take the wrong lesson from Steve Jobs' life story. Some of them use this to justify that they match Steve Jobs' level of success after they drop out. Because of this, more and more young people are choosing to drop out of college or not attend college at all. Some will even go so far as to drop out of high school. But just because the likes of Deep Dive found massive success without a college degree does not guarantee that everyone who drops out of college will be just as successful. Most of us are Steve Jobs, which have a revolutionary idea and huge social network as Steve Jobs had. Most of us too then come with a fast network that we can fall back on when things get tough. A college environment provides a kind of support most others need to not only get a degree but start a life. Because for many to start the day they get a bachelor's degree. Lastly, dropping out be a great way for some people, but that doesn't mean guaranteed success as Steve Jobs has done. So if we want to see what we want to be in the future or to get an advantage in the world of adults, we can take a graduate day to build relation, friends, ideas, and so that can help us through thought working words. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates are exceptions because they have an intelligence above average and wide range of connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, for the speech. Now we're going to move to Kristin Widyana as opposition whip. Time is yours.
I will start in 3, 2, 1. There are many experts who say going to college is not as much about gaining an education and learning skill as it is about simply paying to have a degree. Academically, a thrift limited learning on college computers found out that 38% of college students did not demonstrate any significant improvement in learning during their college education. While it appears that a traditional education provides the environment and resources for a student to gain an education, there are far too many who simply are learning the valuable skill necessary to build a successful career. So why are some people successful in reaching the career path while others are not? Many people who go to a college or university go on to live a perfectly happy life, obtaining everything they set out to accomplish. There are far too many, however, who go throughout years to college only to end up a career unrelated to their degree. We all know someone with a college degree from a good school but who don't like their job or don't have the pay they expect to receive when meeting um, the counselor, the degree counselor. Well, and there are also many who never obtain a degree at all but go on building wildly successful careers. It is a great point of view to agree with the government whip statement that a bachelor program requires attention to detail, good study habits, and communication skill, critical thinking, and the ability to form opinion. But the main idea here it is that the traditional school provide the materials to be a successful person, but in the end, it is up to each individual to manage the provided privilege. Therefore, I can surely say that traditional school do not guarantee the quality of successful person. Next point, according to the PM, that people define successful in different ways. For some, it means having some enough money to buy things they want. For others, it means being respected by other peers. For some, it simply means having love and supported people. So, how many people through traditional education ended up working for themselves, suffering every day just to feed their own stomach, regardless how much money they achieve in a month or a year? It means that their money, their successful, is not a real success. They just make money for themselves without thinking of society. They will not get respect from the other people if they only think about them being successful only. On the other hand, famous football player Ronaldo was educated at the edu- em- at, at youth academy when he joined Sporting Lisbon at the age of 11, so he only has a junior high school education level. But Cristiano Ronaldo speaks at least three languages, and the degree means nothing to him. The fun fact, he is also an ambassador of UNICEF and World Vision. And in 2014, Ronaldo split 450,000 euro from winning the champion language among the trio of charities, as well as 100 euro prize he got from the named UEFA's Team of the Year in 2013 was donated to the Red Cross. What are people going to say about Ronaldo? Of course, he is a successful man. Hence, it is not only a matter of salary, but people's success can seen can be seen on how they act to the society. To conclude, traditional school as a privilege do not guarantee the success of a person. Most likely, if we see the success according to the social behavior of the person. Thank you.
All right, so now that the debate has ended, we're going to move to the adjudication part. And here I'm going to adjudicate the previous debate, and I'm going to show you the ranking and the scores. Right, so here is the ranking and the scores for each team. The fourth place is the opening government. The third place is opening opposition. The second place is closing opposition. And the first place is closing government. The reason why the closing government is the first place is because closing government could debunk opening opposition statement pretty nicely by stating the essential role of non-traditional education and mentioning that the career for non-traditional education is only informal careers, which is sometimes not promising for some people. They also give a clear and systematic mechanism with logic and facts. Uh, they also, while handling opening opposition, they also restate the main points of opening government statement on how traditional education is needed with more real evidence and facts. And closing opposition is the second place because closing opposition could debunk the closing government statement and stating that the key to success is not just obtaining a degree in traditional education, but also obtaining knowledge and doing something with that knowledge or education with passion. Closing opposition also closed the debate pretty nicely while agreeing with some part of closing government's statement about the bachelor program, but they reviewed and give a more contextual explanation on how the closing government statement is not actually the main idea. The third place is opening opposition because opening opposition actually gave a contextual explanation on what is non-traditional education they meant in this debate. And they also could debunk the opening government's uh, argument with real evidence on how successful life can only be achieved with a degree. So they stated that a successful life not is based on the degree of someone, and they gave an example of a career that can be obtained without a traditional education with real example and facts and people who are now successful without getting a degree. And then the fourth place is opening government because actually the opening government team has set up the debate and present the context or problem pretty nicely. They also provide real evidence on how a degree could help people to get a successful career or life. But unfortunately, their statement is going to be debunked by the opening opposition team in their speech. So now the debate has ended and the adjudication part is also ended. I'm going thank you for everyone who watching the group debate. Have a nice day. Thank you.